Hey everyone, I just thought I'd show you how Scripture Notes lets you save cool quotes and statements that you find elsewhere and be able to access them anytime. So let's say you're reading a conference talk, and I just pulled this one up because I like this one a lot, by Elder Scott, How to Obtain Revelation and Inspiration for Your Personal Life. And down here a little ways, if we go to this paragraph right here, there's this statement. The Lord has declared, and ye are to be taught from on high, sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be endowed with power, that ye may give even as I have spoken. The word sanctify yourselves may appear puzzling. President Harold B. Lee once explained that you can replace those words with the phrase, keep my commandments. Read that way, the counsel may seem clearer. So let's say you wanted to take that quote and put it with all the verses that say sanctify yourselves. So the first thing I do is I just highlight this text and copy it, and then I would go over to Scripture Notes and I would do a search for that exact phrase, sanctify yourselves. So I pull that up and I get 13 results here, and I could go down through each of these results and paste in that statement and do that for each of them, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to have to put that one statement 13 times. So I'm going to create a collection note. And what a collection note lets you do is it gives you the ability to put a note in one time and associate it with all these verses. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, give this a name here. And I'll put it in a tag. If I can type, sanctification. And down here now, I could go through these verses and study each of them and make notes about those verses. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And I want you to notice something as I do this. And I'll just first bring this up a little bit. You can see all these verses have these different icons out here to the right, and even back here on the search results, those icons are there. And so when I hit save, watch what happens. All of a sudden, I've got a green symbol here where the I is, and if I click that, I'm going to see my footnotes on the verse, the LDS footnotes, which it happens to be that goes right to sanctification in the topical guide, and my collection notes, sanctify yourselves. So anytime I'm reading one of these verses, like I'll go to Leviticus 11, down here to verse 44, anytime I see that green I know I can click it and click to get into my collection note, and it'll pull it right up for me. So here it is a second time. And so that is a really slick way to take a statement, a quote that you've found, and save it. And in fact, I'll show you one more thing here. In the category area, you can select quote. And so later on, you might say, well, I want to find a certain quote. And you can come in here and say, I want to search in the master collection note area for a quote. And let me update that so that the category is saved. And search for the word sanctify. And there's sanctify yourselves right there. So that is a slick way to be able to categorize a quote and be able to find it quickly and be able to store it and associate it with those verses. So I hope that gives you a nice little look at Scripture Notes and one of the powerful techniques you can use to save the things that you're finding. Because a lot of times you see something and you might write it down or make a mental note of it, but unless you have a way to actually save it with the scriptures like this, it's going to vaporize. You don't carry notebooks to church with you and be able to reference those quickly when you're looking for a verse or looking for something you've associated with that verse in the past. So give Scripture Notes a try. Try this out. Go read a conference talk or something. Look for a cool statement that has some meaning to you, and then do a search in the Scriptures. And then don't just put the quote into a collection note, but actually study the scriptures that go with it. Try it out and see if this is not a great way for you to study the scriptures.